So why do DJs make mistakes? We're out in the club, we're mixing on our turntables or we're mixing on our CDJs, and suddenly a mistake happens. Why did that happen? Well, there's plenty of reasons, but I've covered about 7 in this video. The first reason, and probably the main reason, is a lack of preparation and practice. Look, DJing is like playing an instrument. Whether you're playing guitar or you're singing or the ukulele, what have you, you need to practice. And if you are a DJ who's playing out in bars and clubs and you haven't practiced, you're gonna be rusty and you're gonna be underperforming in terms of your techniques. We are creatures of reinforcement learning. If we make lots of mistakes, we understand how we failed in the past or made mistakes in the past, and we're then able to recover and adapt in the future. Versus if we barely ever practice, we don't have those understanding or those contexts or those examples to remember from. Another example of lack of practice specific to the DJ case is when a DJ tries to take a gig outside of their main area of expertise. For example, a house DJ who almost never mixes UKG or drum and bass, suddenly trying to get on the roster of a drum and bass event because, well, they want to get their name on a flyer. In this case, the DJ who mixes primarily house is going to lack a lot of practice in the nuanced elements of mixing something like a breakbeat genre of UKG and drum and bass. Number 2, lack of versatility. We covered this in our digital DJ versatility series, but today, because technology has made it really easy to kind of mix and beat match records, a lot of DJs get really stuck into one particular method of mixing, and they lack a lot of versatility that otherwise vinyl DJs or old school DJs would have had. If you are at a club and your particular method or workflow of beat matching, for example, maybe you depend on the cue button, or maybe you only beat sync your records automatically with the technology in the actual CDJs. When this technological assistance fails, you are going to have a lot of opportunity to make mistakes because 1, you haven't practiced, and 2, there isn't enough versatility to help you recover quickly in the moment. Number 3, external environment. This is one of the biggest differences between mixing in your bedroom versus mixing in a bar or a club. When you show up to the bar or a club, as the DJ, you are the central authority of the dance floor. And that means you have a lot of star power and pizzazz that people really are attracted to. And what that does is it creates a lot of opportunity and a lot of stimulus in the DJ booth. And if you've been in a club, you've been in a bar, you'll probably have noticed, your friends are coming up, different people are coming up to you, giving you props, saying hi, maybe making a request, all these different things. And that's a very different experience from being in your bedroom and just mixing, because maybe you're trying to beat match a track and you're trying to have a conversation in the DJ booth. And so all of this different stimulus can create more opportunities to make mistakes because you don't have the same level of focus that you would in your practice sessions. Number 4, internal environment. This is a somewhat underestimated aspect of DJing because a lot of DJs are very social people, extroverted, they seem very confident, but internally, they are also artists, and artists can be very critical of themselves. They can have struggles with self-esteem. They could have struggles with confidence. And so if your internal environment is not aligned and you are kind of not sure about your skills and you're a little worried, that can also cause you to basically slip up and make mistakes. I can say, for example, sometimes I've been mixing at a gig and I've made a mistake, and that has completely demolished my internal sense of confidence. So managing your own internal psychology can be a really critical part of DJing as well, and a great opportunity to shore up your resilience to mistakes. Number 5, sloppiness and overexcitement. Now, this typically happens when a DJ is maybe kind of new and they get to the DJ booth and they're really enjoying the partying aspect of DJing. And sometimes the DJs can get quite intoxicated while they're DJing, and this can result in a lot of sloppiness. In addition to the sloppiness comes overexcitement. And sometimes when you are, so stimulated and you're so rushed to try and make sure that you make a big impact with your DJ set, you are somewhat more likely to make mistakes because you don't feel like you don't have as much time. There's too much urgency. And this urgency causes you to think too quickly instead of kind of thinking a little bit more slowly and methodically about how you want to build your set and how you want to create the energy of the room. And so these 2 aspects can also be a big source of mistakes for DJs. Number 6, risks that don't pan out. Now, I want to underscore this one because I think it's sort of really important to think about, because as you get better with your DJing skills, you're going to start taking more incremental risks. And those incremental risks can take the form of maybe on-the-fly mashups, blended overlays that you think would sound interesting, or maybe just quick mixing and mixing back and forth between some really interesting tracks. And these risks are what create a really ecstatic and interesting DJ performance. And if you don't take any risks, your set might risk sounding vanilla. It's almost like the biggest risk is not to take any risks. But with the concept of risk-taking in your DJing and in your artistic performance comes the possibility of error or consequence. And so sometimes you might take a risk in mixing one track with another track, and it just doesn't pan out. You know, you thought this piano would sound so good overlaid over this drum pattern, and when you put it in live and you send it out to the party, it just falls flat. In this case, it's one of those types of mistakes that we need to evaluate from the artistic perspective, in seeing that our art and our performance wouldn't be interesting if we didn't take these risks, and sometimes they're just going to happen and they're not going to sound great. We just have to accept them as they are and integrate them gracefully into our performance. Number 7, and the final reason why DJs make mistakes, is technical faults and errors. Typically, this is a class of errors and mistakes that are outside of your control. Stuff like the CDJ, you showed up to the club and the CDJ didn't work, the mixer's broken, the cue button's broken, for some reason or other your USB got completely corrupted and you're just not able to mix, or you don't have any of the information or cue points that you originally set up in Rekordbox, for example. And these kinds of mistakes are just sort of something that you just have to take as rolling with the punches, or rolling with the wave of DJing. You know, sometimes things are just going to happen. They're out of our control. We can't get too down on ourselves. We just have to accept that's part of the game and move forward. High-level summary: 7 reasons why DJs make mistakes. 1, lack of practice or preparation. 2, lack of versatility. 3, external environment. 4, internal environment. 5, sloppiness and overexcitement. 6, risks that don't pan out. And 7, technical faults or errors that are outside of our control.